Sorry. It's quite a serious subject as well, sorry. Okay.
We've both had breast cancer. I've had 4 operations, chemotherapy and radiotherapy.
I had a lumpectomy, chemotherapy, Herceptin and radiotherapy.
I'm Julie Ray. I'm a recently retired academic. I was a nurse and a midwife. I'm a mum, sister, and I have a lovely husband.
I'm Farida Anderson. I'm Manchester born and bred. I've got twin boys and I've got a daughter and 6 grandchildren, and I love life. So Julie, how did you react when you was told you'd had cancer?
My initial reaction was to laugh. The consultant told me and I actually laughed in his face. And then I just couldn't stop swearing. And then the floodgates opened and I just couldn't stop crying. I couldn't control myself. It just came pouring out. How did you react, Farida?
Shock. Horror. Took back to the time that my mum had been diagnosed, and my mum died at 48 and I was 49. So knowing that my mum had died, I just thought I was going to die. I didn't have time to cry, and I don't think I had time to be angry. I just had to get on with it, making those appointments and then facing the journey of what was ahead. So Julie, what did you know about radiotherapy?
I knew immediately not to go on Google because I couldn't filter the rubbish from the sound information, and so I knew that would make me even more anxious going into that sort of treatment.
Well, I'm different, love. I pinged Google. I said, okay, Google.
Yeah, but you're a Google queen, aren't you?
Yeah,
You look everything up.
I do. Well, I suppose the point of you've got to use what you've got, but you have to have a filter with it. You've got to understand that, take what you read with the level of a pinch of salt, but it highlighted me some elements that I didn't know about. I still had in my mind it was going to be a microwave pinging session, and therefore it was going to take minutes or seconds. I just thought I'd be in and out. Whatever it was, I was going to be in and out.
Do you know what? I'm really curious.
Yeah.
What did you do to sort of deal with side effects of radiotherapy?
First of all, I was very lucky. I got a good information pack that came from the hospital that I was going to attend, and it talked about the necessity to cream and hygiene and maybe not use scented stuff. And as easy as it might seem, because you go on your own and you park your car and you don't have an entourage, which you do when you do for chemotherapy, if you've got family and friends, and there's not much happening to you or being done once you're having this treatment. And actually there's a lot being done. It's doing a lot to your body, which then gives you both a psychological, I think, and an emotional impact. What about you?
Well, that's why I found it really useful to give myself a little treat most days. I think because I used aloe vera for my skin, I bought a plant and I seared the leaves and I put all the juice all over me and used that to stop my skin going red. And for me, it worked. Yeah. It caused me no harm. So whether it was psychological or physical, it did the trick. But because my appointments were on a morning, I would often go for a little walk. And I would just sit there and contemplate. And I found that really useful because I needed a form of stillness in my body, physically and mentally, so that I wasn't always thinking about radiotherapy.
I look back, and if somebody would say to me, what do you need? Because you've just been diagnosed with cancer, I'd actually say I need a PA. A personal assistant would be really wonderful, because you are inundated with appointments. It got to the point that I didn't know what tablets I was taking, when and where. I didn't know what appointments that I had. And I got really ill, and then a niece come along, and she's very technical. And I only found this out after all my treatment was finished. They'd set up a secret WhatsApp group. So I had a group of PAs at that moment. They just dumped me afterwards, really, which is a bit sad. I could do with them now. But
you didn't know you had it?
I didn't know I had it. And that's quite nice, because I think I would have felt I was really imposing myself. The biggest difficulty that I had with my cancer is I'd been so independent until that moment.
I had a big thing about burdening people with what was happening to me. So one of the things I did, because it's me, was I wrote some poems, I wrote a blog, I started a blog, I became quite creative. My family don't know to this day that I did it. I shared it with random strangers, but actually that was support for me that I created by myself and for myself.
The biggest thing I struggled with once, and I think it's something most people struggle with when all the treatment stops. I think, well, for 6 months I didn't leave the house. I got agoraphobic. I really lost a lot of confidence. You lost confidence driving. I lost confidence in driving. We lost some things that we then needed to build back. So we got together and decided to set up a charity, small community organisation called Fit After Cancer Treatment, which was really getting people back to going into the gym or doing some physical activity.
Just to kind of put a bit of a blanket around them for a small period of time. It was very simplistic.
Very.
And then from that, because we're both a bit creative, really.
I would have said mad, but you can call it creative if you want.
I wanted to act and perform. And we started to talk about writing poems, and you went along with it. And then very quickly you said, nah, let's do a big performance. Let's call it Tits Up. To say we were kind of, we are ordinary people. And we've come through this. And we're using this creative side of us to share our experience, but also maybe the voice of other people.
Yes.
We're happy to perform that as well.
Yeah, we want to get.
And it's a short performance, but we've had very good feedback. And we've also raised money for breast cancer.
Yeah, and for FACT. Yeah. And you know, it's a good way to get over a message. I mean, my detection was not through any lump, it was through screening. So it's really, really important for people to get screened and to go for those appointments.
I was symptomatic, so one of my messages is, you know, to listen to your body and to not ignore what might be going on and to seek professional help, because the best thing that could ever happen is they tell you there's nothing wrong with you. I listened to my body and there was something wrong with me. But I'm here today, we've got the show, and life's pretty good. Great. We're in front of cameras, makeup, hair.